Well, the Prince George's County Council introduces a new initiative aimed at combating domestic violence. The grant program will help fund programs that assist abuse victims. Here to talk more about that program is Council Chairman Derrick Davis. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us, what is this initiative and what particularly is it seeking to do?
So, the County Council is essentially the branch of government that funds that we approve the budget. And for several years, when it came to the scourge of domestic violence, we had been observing first an uptick in the situation with regard to domestic violence. And I know everyone who watches TV has seen someone or knows someone who's gone through that scourge. So what we've tried to do is to work together with the agencies of county government and create collaboration models from the courts through the state's attorney's office to the police and sheriff to our health services agencies, Department of Family Services, and tried to model collaboration so that we could put together a grant opportunity. We know that money doesn't solve the problem. We really believe that collaboration solves the problem. So the grant opportunities will be became available yesterday when we announced the program to nonprofits and faith-based organizations throughout Prince George's County. And we hope that our model of collaboration will promote partnership. And that through that partnership, we'll create the safety net that will deal with the domestic violence issue as forcefully, as gently as we possibly can. And I use those words on purpose because we believe that that net has to be woven tightly so that people who find themselves in this situation will know that their community has wrapped their arms around them and done something to protect them.
So you mentioned nonprofits. Specifically, what will groups have to do in order to apply to get this money? Will they need to provide an outline or specific plan of what they plan to do with it?
First, they should go to pgccouncil.us/DVGP. That's where the entire grant process is laid out. The application was made available yesterday, and the application process will go through May 31st. And as we look, actually it's May 10th. We plan to announce who won the grants on May 31st. And there is actually a workshop tomorrow. If you go to the website, you'll find it and you'll be able to participate in it. But we're looking for folks who do housing, who do prevention counseling, who do advocacy, so that we can weave this safety net for those who go through this scourge of domestic violence, whether it be children or adults. They have a place to turn. And we need groups in the community to be able to work together because we think that ultimately we have lots of groups that do lots of things in the county, but we're really trying to promote partnership to be able to create that safety net.
And that safety net is so important in helping abuse victims. But what about proactive efforts to try and intervene before it gets to the violence?
One of the pieces that the violence is that we're looking at is the prevention mechanisms. In our Department of Family Services, Social Services, the Health Department, they also have resources. The County Executive's Office, as well as the Council, has invested over the last year about $2.4 million to create that net. So we look at prevention, and we also look at what happens when, in fact, it does occur. So through these efforts, we believe that net will be created. We believe the opportunity will be there. We know we can't stop everything that happens, but we want our community to know that we're working collectively together, we're collaborating, and we're promoting partnerships so that that net exists.
According to the state's attorney's office, there were 20 domestic violence deaths in Prince George's last year. That's more than half for the entire state. Why do we stand out in this area?
It's hard to say. Families, there are many challenges. That the excuses that are out there for violence are probably far and wide, but there's really no excuse. The reality is that when we find information that someone is experiencing something like this, we have to say something to others. We have to reach out. We can't just roll up our windows or shut down our blinds. If you see something, you have to say something. Can't make the presumption that everything is okay. And so, and as a matter of fact, one of the programs that's funded by the county is something called the Red Light Program and the Red Flag Program. And so the Red Flag Program, it attempts to bring those pieces together and share information with the community to get the community active in understanding what those flags are with regard to domestic violence.
Certainly the hope here is that this initiative will get us to eliminating or at least significantly reducing domestic violence.
We have to do everything we possibly can as a community to try to prevent And then when we can't prevent, we have to support. So that safety net is for support, and the prevention mechanisms up front through our departments of social service, family service, and health services, I believe will do the best that we can to start to stem the tide.
Well, thank you so much, Council Chairman Derrick Davis, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And for more information, that website is pgccouncil.us/DVCP, and you'll have until Wednesday, May 10th at 5 in the evening to submit your application.